the legendary podcaster, the one, the only, T-Jam D. Your personal favorite, and the show you've been waiting for. Probably Offensive.
Welcome to Probably Offensive. I am your host, Anthony Scott Dover. And it seems like we've been away for a long time. I don't know if anybody is listening to this show consistently, but I am going to do the podcast as if you are. I don't even know if your COVID update even matters anymore. It's been so long in this pandemic. By the way, we are over 8 million infected and up to 215,000 deaths, all in the U.S. This is only U.S. numbers here we're reporting on. And we're getting closer to the election, so that means the president is getting more desperate and a little crazier. We went from finding out that the president doesn't pay very much taxes at all, to he's in debt of $421 million. Okay, these news cycles move very fast. So the president's in debt of $421 million, which he acts like is no big deal, which it is a big deal. I don't care how many assets you have or how much money you deal with. If you are in debt $421 million, that is a big deal. That's a lot of money. The news cycle moves very fast, though. I mean, we go from fly on the head of Mike Pence to the president didn't learn anything from having COVID. You would think that after pretending that COVID is no big deal, that the president would learn something from having COVID. You know, he goes into the hospital and gets all kind of experimental treatments, and he has, the very best medical care at Walter Reed Medical Facility. Is usually a facility where they treat men and women who have been in the service. But the president's, since it's not very far away, it's in DC, and it's not very far away from the White House, then it's also where they take presidents whenever they need to have any extensive medical attention. They take them to Walter Reed. So, what was weird to me is that the president went to Walter Reed after he tested positive for coronavirus, but his wife didn't go. I mean, I know his wife is not the president, but she is the first lady. Why wouldn't they take her too? She's tested positive. They both tested positive. They didn't take the wife, Melania, over to Walter Reed when they took the president. I wonder if she even received the same treatment as the president, or if she wanted it. I don't know. I'm not, I don't have any confidence myself in the experimental treatments, So it seemed like President Trump didn't mind at all taking the experimental treatments. The experimental treatments, by the way, Regeneron, I think it was one of them that he's been bragging about. That was something that was created while Barack Obama was in the White House. You can look this up. It was not created for coronavirus. Obviously, if it was it was invented by scientists or some treatment. It was for something else. They've just found that it works pretty well on the coronavirus, actually. So now they're using it as a treatment for coronavirus. But this is one of these things that Obama okayed for them to work on. And actually, some of the scientists who no longer work at the CDC are some of the ones who helped. Some of the ones that Trump fired. The pandemic response team are some of the doctors that worked on this very drug that he's taking to treat the coronavirus. And President Trump did say he was cured, but he's not. That's just another lie. He's not cured. It's not a cure for coronavirus. It's a treatment for it, so that it doesn't get any worse. That's what it does until you are able to get over it. Also gave him steroids while he was in the hospital. Ironically, he accused Joe Biden of being on steroids, which you can expect that out of President Trump, because he pretty much just accuses everyone else of everything. So, he just pulls things out of his butt and accuses people of them. Usually, it's the pot calling the kettle black, because he said something to Joe Biden about being smart, and everyone knows that President Trump is not smart. So he was telling Joe, I don't ever want to hear you say anything about being smart, which Biden never said anything about being smart. But President Trump has a stupid complex. He's a stupid man, so people call him stupid, and now he's trying to prove that he's not stupid. Very hard. Like, he's trying his damnedest to prove to the world that I'm smart, I'm not stupid. But you're being exposed. See, a lot of people, most people who knew who Donald Trump was before he was president, they didn't know he was an idiot. And now you've been president for 4 years, and people can see that you're not very bright, Mr. President. So the cat's out of the bag. A lot of people thought you were super rich. They didn't know that you were not rich. You've gone around saying you're a billionaire when that's not even true. You're $421 million in the hole. And you've taken out so many loans that you owe $421 million. Oh my God. You've tricked everyone into thinking you're a great businessman. Come to find out that's not true. So a lot of things that are not true with the president. And I hate to step right into politics and opening up the show, but that is what has to happen when you're this close to an election and you get a president who has captured the imagination of QAnon, conspiracy theorists and white supremacists. And by lying, he doesn't even he just straight is lying to these people. And we're gonna pause for station identification. We're gonna take a little break, 30 seconds. We'll be right back. Don't go away. Right after this.
You're listening to a man who's so sexy it's completely ridiculous. Mr. Anthony Scott Dover. Yummy.
Thank you. We're back. All right. We're talking about politics and the President of the United States. As I was saying, the President caught the coronavirus and got some experimental treatments and went right back out to giving rallies and saying things that are not true. But that's just par for the course for him. He just doesn't mind saying a lot of things that are not true. And he had a town hall. Him and Joe Biden both had a town hall. And President Trump refused to have the second debate because they wanted him to agree to have more social distancing and have the candidates further apart with plexiglass dividing them. And he said no. And they also wanted his campaign to agree that when the debate is going on, one candidate will be talking for 2 minutes and the other one's mic will be shut off. And President Trump didn't like that either. So they did not have the second debate, the traditional style. Instead, they went the route of President Trump having a town hall meeting on one network while Joe Biden's having one on the other network, which Joe Biden's ratings for his town hall were higher than President Trump's. That's really got to burn President Trump up, because he's always talking about ratings of the TV shows, which I find to be one of the most ridiculous things that he can be concerned about. Who cares about your ratings, dude? You're not that interesting. Actually, he is interesting because he's the president and he says all kind of stupid stuff. But I don't know. I never watched The Apprentice because I really didn't find it to be that entertaining of a show. I watched probably about 10 minutes of it one time, a couple of times, and thought this show sucks, and I didn't watch it anymore. So I didn't really find the guy to be that entertaining. But I've known who Trump was for a long time. I thought he was a business tycoon. Come to find out that he's not. Just a spoiled little rich guy who got $400 million from his father and lies about that and says he borrowed $1 million to start his empire off of. And people just believe that for some reason. For some reason, people just seem to believe whatever this guy says. But let's get back to this town hall. President Trump had the town hall, and I watched a little bit of each one of them. And Joe Biden's was sort of straightforward. They're asking him questions. He's just answering the questions. It's not really a fight with the moderator like President Trump had, because the moderator is asking him questions about stuff that she knows is out there that's false, and he just hates it. He just hates it when people question him on some lie that he's told, or